Okay, we need to talk because there are three sides to this war in Iran, and they're all giving us conflict, containing information. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly what's going on. First, you need to understand that Donald Trump just reiterated this morning that there's practically nothing left to target in Iran, and he says he can end the war at any time. This comes right after Iran was laying mines in the Gulf or Strait of Hormuz yesterday, and it comes right after Bibi is expanding his targets to actively achieve regime change in Iran. Now, I want to tell you about the difference between what Trump is saying, what Israel is saying, and what's actually happening. So, Donald Trump says there's practically nothing left to target. This is coming at the same time as Israel is expanding their targets, and it comes literally a day after the US ended up sinking 9 of those Iranian mine layers in the Strait of Hormuz. This is because Iran says they're moving from retaliation against Israel to strike after strike policies. That's a quote. Strike after strike policies to continue pressuring the global economy in the Strait of Hormuz, which not only enables Iranian oil to flow to China, which is flowing to China more than ever, but it also puts pressure on all the oil refineries in the Gulf. Now, this isn't great because that's where most of the oil is produced. That's because over here on the left side, which would be the west side over here, you have a lot of mountainous terrain. That makes it very difficult to get from the sands or the oil fields out to the sea or the Red Sea. Over here, now on the right, you have relatively flat land, which makes it easy to export oil from Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, whatever. Oman over here, into the Persian Gulf. Not for Oman, though. They could just go straight out to the Arabian Sea. So, what did we just have? Well, we just had mine layers in the strait right here. 9 of them get destroyed. But it shows you that Iran is actively trying to escalate this war even by changing their strategies. Now, another thing that they're doing with drones, just look at, by the way, where Iran is. Iran has this entire coast over here, all the way from the edge of almost the edge of Kuwait over here, because you've got a little strip of Iraq in between. But they've got this entire coast going out AC along the entire Persian Gulf. If you actually compare the size of Israel to the size of Iran, I mean, there's no comparison. Iran is actually quite huge. You've actually even got now a section of Somalia that is broken away into Somalia, a land that Israel is now trying to build a base in. So Israel all the way over here is trying to build a base over here, or roughly where Somaliland is too, which again is the breakaway region of Somalia, to try to attack the Houthis in Yemen. For example, one thing that they're doing is, even though their drone and missile attacks are down between 83 to 93%, which we saw over the last few days compared to the beginning volleys or retaliatory volleys. What they're doing now is they're taking about sets of 20 drones buried well beneath the surface of the earth. They're coming to the surface, quickly launching them, getting back underground, which they could do way faster than American and Israeli warplanes can take these down. And these 20 drones are often enough not to overwhelm Israel's Iron Dome, but rather to overwhelm the defenses that Kuwait has, or the UAE has, or Saudi Arabia has, because they don't have an Iron Dome. That's why Iran is having so much success in the region, because they're really amplifying their mosaic-style leadership, where they launch these little attacks from random places. And it's a sign that Iran is not anywhere close to giving up. Problem is BBA speaks to Donald Trump from Israel speaks to Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, and for some reason Jared Kushner on a nearly daily basis, sometimes more than daily. Israel is trying to force regime change in Iran, and as a result, what they're doing is they're broadening targets, and they're actually starting to piss off Donald Trump. So really have 3 parts of this weird triangle here. On one hand, you have Israel who's like, we're going all in, baby. Like, this is it. We're going for regime change. Well, so far regime change isn't going well. Regime change is getting worse, not better. Now you've got Donald Trump mad at Israel for expanding their targets. Then you got Donald Trump trying to pump the markets, saying, oh, boys and girls, I can end this war at any time. We're almost done. There's nothing left to strike. And Israel's like, whatever, man, we got plenty left to strike. And then Iran's like, strike what you want. I don't know why that had that accent. But anyway, Iran's like, strike what you want. We got plenty more. And we're not giving up. If anything, we're going to get more creative with where we screw you. And this is why we're starting to see freight and container ships getting attacked and bombed and rocketed in the strait. Donald Trump yesterday, his energy secretary, Mr. Chris Wright, yesterday suggested that the U.S. Navy successfully escorted an oil tanker through the Strait of Hormuz. This actually briefly led to a fall in oil all the way down to $82.39. Stocks also jumped. However, within minutes that tweet was deleted and then the U.S. military said, no, we are not escorting commercial ships. That was incorrectly captioned by staff. So, somebody just made a whole lot of money on not only a rebound in oil. Anyway, Iran currently says that ceasefire talks are off the table. Saudi Aramco CEO says that there are catastrophic consequences for oil markets the longer this disruption to energy flows. A David Wu, an economist, says that the market is overestimating that Donald Trump is going to end this war, which suggests that there is downside for the market. The IEA, the International Energy Agency, did authorize a 400 million barrel release. It's probably mostly priced in. We're teetering right around $90 a barrel right now. Iran's ability to make more 136 Shahed drones has also been reduced per Bloomberg, but not eliminated. JP Morgan did just mark down some of its private credit funds. Apollo is moving to doing daily reporting in private credit because there's so much private credit fear, which is one of the reasons you're seeing OWL absolutely collapse. On the other hand, Oracle couldn't hold its rally this morning, but something to watch is that it has a green flag on momentum and valuation. That's just a quick little other free sample of some of the analysis that we do in the Alpha Report over at MeetKevin.com. Thank you so very much for watching. Goodbye.